Welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of... Oh, I almost said August then. What? January. Hope you're well. Sorry, my mind's a bit boggled. I've just done a Virgo reading and it was very confusing. So hopefully this one will be a little clearer, Gemini. For me, at least. And hopefully for you. So, usual rules apply. Take what resonates, leave the rest. May or may not follow on from the main January monthly reading. It might be an entirely different story for an entirely different set of Geminis. You just work out whether it's for you or not. And if not, then, you know what to do. So, that'll do. Right. Gemini. I have 3 cards for where Gemini is right now. Here's where is Gemini right now. Gemini. 6 of Wands in a jubilant mood. Nice, like it. It's a card of Leo. I have 2 more for Gemini, please. Ooh. 4 of Pentacles. That talks about holding on to things quite tightly. One more card for Gemini. So just one. So 1, 2 swords. Right, interesting. At the bottom of the deck we've got 4 of Wands. It talks about stability and security in your home, but it can also talk about those personal relationships that we have that feel like home. It's also the twin flame card for me personally, but it doesn't have to be, marriage or celebration or something like that. But it seems like last 2 weeks, where you are right now is in an interesting place, Gemini, right? We've got 6 of Wands here, which is the card of Leo, like I said, but it talks about victory. It talks about feeling very jubilant, about having won something, whatever that is. And then we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Now, the 4 of Pentacles talks about holding on to things quite tightly for whatever reason. This dude, he's got his pentacle and he's got his feet firmly planted on 2, and he's got one in front of him, one on his head here. This feels like maybe the battle that you've won recently was keeping a hold of something that's very important to you, right? Very important to you. But then we've got the 2 of Swords, and that talks about making a choice about something. Now, I don't like this card as a choice personally, because she's blindfolded. Right, and she's holding these 2 swords, and these are the options in her choice, and she's trying to decide purely from the way they feel in her hand. But the idea is that the swords are effectively identical, and there's nothing to choose between them. What I don't like about this card is the fact that she's got her back to the water. She's got her back to the moon. And the moon is your intuition, it's your higher self. It's your subconscious. The stuff that comes to you in your dream states where you're open to receive it. She's not looking at that. And the water is the emotions and things. That's what it symbolises in the tarot. And she's got her back to that as well. So she's trying to make a purely intellectual choice without consulting these very, very important things that would perhaps sway the decision either way. And I feel like because she's done it consciously, because she's consciously refusing to take these other things into account. For me, it suggests that she's made her decision already, and she's now in a procrastinatory state by trying to pick between 2 things that are identical. I get the feeling that the water in the background and the moon in the background and all those things that they symbolize would actually sway the decision very firmly one way or another, but she's not looking at it just yet. And this is you. So you've won something, you've kept hold of something that was very important to you, but now you're faced with a decision. Intriguing. I like it. And there's 2 4s in the reading as well. You've got the 4 of Pentacles right in the middle there, and you've got the 4 of Wands right here. This is something really, really tied up with your sense of security, with your stability. Interesting. So, what's coming towards Gemini for the last 2 weeks of January? Okay, interesting. Let's get one more card. What's coming towards Gemini, please? We've got the King of Swords there. It's flipped. I'm not going to take it because it didn't jump. But that could be an Aquarian in the mix, or Libra, or Gemini, or it could just be you. It could be you expressing yourself very clearly. Let's have a look. One more card. For fuck's sake, that's just landed miles away. Let me go get it. So that's interesting. The card at the bottom of the deck now is the Four of Cups. That's another four. Right? And this one talks about rejecting offers, potentially, but it can also talk about taking things for granted. It's a slightly huffy energy, actually, right there. You know, it's got 3 cups there, and there's being offered one by the tree too. I see that. Yeah. But she's busy looking at her feet, so she's not actually noticing that all these cups are here and that they were able for her to take if she wanted to. Directly underneath we've got the Seven of Swords, and that talks about deception of some description. So maybe there's been an offer that has been deceptive, you're not very happy about. Or perhaps you're deceiving yourself that there are no offers when actually there are quite a few. Take it as it resonates to you. Anyway, the other thing that's interesting is that you've got another 2 now, right? And it's fallen in exactly the same place at the end as the 2 in the first set. The first card you've got is the Five of Swords. Now, fives are about conflict, they're about change, but because it's the sword suits, it's words, it's communication, it's ideas, it's thought processes, you know, it's very cerebral, it's your energy, right? But fives talk about conflict. They talk about verbal sparring. They talk about, you know, mean words. They talk about people who say anything to win. And I feel like this is coming towards you, right? This isn't, although this is your energy, it's not your energy, right? It's air energy, so it's of you. But this is coming towards you. Like somebody is bringing something to your door. And perhaps it's an old situation, actually, because we've got the Judgment card next, and that's the card of Scorpio, but it talks about a resurrection of situations that you thought were dead and buried. Now, I seem to recall in the main January reading that I did, I advised you to put your sword down and see who came out of the woodwork when they thought you were defenceless. Maybe this is what it is right here, because we've got a sense of somebody bringing something to your door. You know, this is cutting words, this is arguing, this is strife, you know. It should be quite competitive as well. But then we've got this card of resurrection, you know. This is an old conflict that's coming back right now, actually. I feel that quite strongly. Now I've said it, it feels right. This is somebody coming towards you because they thought you were defenceless, and they're coming for another go. And then we've got the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands for me is a crossroads, right? If the Ace is a spark of passionate excitement about something, right? The Two is when you sit there and you work out all the logistics of bringing this into the 3D. You know, the Three of Wands is expansion, right? It's expanding the plan. And this woman's looking in a crystal ball, right? She doesn't have a globe. I really like that. She's got a crystal ball. It's like she's having a look into the future to see which way she should go, how it's going to play out, you know. Although it's a Wands card, it's quite a strategic, it's got quite a mental aspect to it, and it's internal, right? So it might be that you're not sharing this with anybody else. But I feel like this conflict brought to you by whoever it's going to be brought to you by puts you in a state of needing to make a decision about which way you go now, right? More decision making, more internal decision making. I feel like you already made that decision, right? But you're choosing not to do anything with it at the moment. What's coming towards you in January is the necessity to actually start making plans about what you're going to do, because this person, they think you're weak, they think you're defenceless, and they're coming for you. And it's going to shove you into making a decision about where you're going to go. That's really interesting. So, I'm going to pull 3 cards for advice. See if I can't help you make the best decision for you. So, can I have 3 cards of advice, please, for Gemini? 3 cards of advice for Gemini. There's the first. I'm not taking that one because I've dropped it. There's the second. Take that one. And take that one. And take that one. Okay, the bottom of the deck now we've got the sun. Look at that, the colours in that. And she's looking in a crystal ball. And there's that big ball of a sun behind her there, right? This is the most positive card in the deck. It's the card of Leo as well, so that may or may not be important. But it's joy, right? It's complete, unspoiled, untainted delight, right? Such as you would find with a child about something, right? So I feel like whatever decision you make, you're actually going to pick well, whether you're aware of it or not. And the 3 cards that you've got that have come up for advice are the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the 9 of Wands. But the 9 of Wands has come out in reverse, right? The Cup suit talks about emotions and feelings, yes, and all that sort of thing, but it's also about receptivity, right? It's being open, it's being emotionally available, right? So I think that you're being asked not to batten down the hatches and be cold, right? If anything, you need to work on opening up a little bit. Now, this could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, right? We've already got Scorpio on the table once, and we've got, water energy that talks about the same. But people come to the Queen, right? The Queen doesn't go to people. This Queen particularly is quite static. So you don't have to go chasing for stuff. And in fact, what I'm hearing is if you have to chase it, then it's not right, right? What is right for you is going to come directly to you, right? And we've got the Page, so maybe there's an apology as part of this. This Page is walking, on the rocks, kind of balancing on the rocks, but he's coming towards the Queen. You should maybe expect an apology or some sort of small offering of love, because remember, it's just a page. It's not a knight, it's not a king. But there's movement towards you, and you need to be open to it. So practice forgiveness. If somebody comes towards you with, an apology, forgive them, because we don't do it for them, we do it for ourselves. But don't go chasing things, because you don't need to. It's going to come directly to you. And then we've got the 9 of Wands in reverse. So this way up, it's a very defensive energy for me. So it's like big erection of boundaries and stuff like that. And this person's all battered and fucked up, and they want to sit down and they want to rest, but they can't because they've got to fight. This way up, I don't think you need to fight. Actually, is the thing. I don't think that you need to fight. Whoever this old person is who's coming towards you with this nasty ass energy right here, like, don't engage. I'm pretty sure that was the advice in the last reading. It's just don't engage at all, but consider your options, play everything out in your head to its logical conclusion, and then decide which way you're going to go from there. Like, you don't have to fight this at all. If this is keeping people out, this is letting people in. Be open, be receptive, and see where it leads, because it looks like it will lead somewhere quite positive. So I'm going to leave it there, because that was really, really interesting. I really like it. If it resonated, I'd love it if you'd like the video, or leave a message or comment or something, something like that. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you did. And I will probably be, what day are we on now? 16. Probably be back in about a week, 10 days with the readings for February. So take care, and I'll see you then.